So let me just get rid of this line so it'll be easier for us to understand how we analyze our charts, how we go about it. So we look at 4 hour rather than daily chart because we trade mostly scalps, as you guys know. When you receive our signals, we usually send more scalps than long-term or mid-term signals. So we do not go on daily because daily would be too far-fetched for us to look for entries. It's good to look at daily as well. It's not bad to, really see what's happening in the market. But for us, when you're scalping, 4 hour gives us enough idea what's happening with the price and where the price will be moving or where the price will be going. So firstly, let's look at DXY. DXY is really important. I've said this again and again. You really need to know what's happening with DXY because this is basically how dollar moves. So if DXY drops, dollar will drop, and if DXY goes up, dollar goes up. So it's really important to know what DXY is doing for us to really understand what's happening in the market. So we're quickly looking at DXY. So firstly, what we're going to do is quickly, let's draw some support resistance. That's where we start, we quickly look at the charts and we just draw some support resistance. We can clearly see this is quite a strong support level. Why? Because every time price reaches here, we can see there's some kind of momentum, upwards. So there's 1 time, 2 time, 3 time, 4 times. So, the more touches, the wallet it is. So this is quite a strong support. We can clearly see every time price reaches it does go up. Only one time price did break, which was 9th of June, about a month ago. But then as soon as it broke, then as similar way price came back up again. And, we can clearly see after every time price reaches here, we can see a massive spike upwards. So similar here, same thing here. Yesterday as well, we can see some, break below, but then it quickly went up again. So that could be a strong support. And right now price is testing this support. Price did tested before yesterday's market close. Price was testing and rose up and it closed above the support. So next week we can have an idea. Okay, maybe next week what could happen is we can see a rise in dollar. We could see dollar going up earlier, start of the next week. When Saturday night when market opens, we might see some dollar going up and buyers or market movers moving dollar upwards. So let's draw a resistance. So we can clearly see, let's see where the resistance would be. I can draw a resistance here. This could be a resistance, but yeah, that could be a resistance, but I would like to draw my resistance here because the more touches I get, the more confident I am in my resistance. So I will get rid of this. So this is quite a strong resistance as well. We can clearly see every time, 1 time, 2 time, 3 time, 4 time, 5 times. So 5 touches and we see a price drop. We can take this as well. So 5, 6, 7, 8, about 8, 9 touches, but let's say 5, 4 good touches. Okay. So now we have a support resistance. So now we know that if price reaches here, we'll be looking for sell, and price reaches here, we'll be looking for buy. So currently, where is our price? So price is at the support right now. So we can clearly see there's a support here. And if price reaches somewhere around here, we can see, probably price going up. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to draw a box just at my EMA. Why am I drawing a box here? Because I know this is an EMA resistance. So every time price reaches an EMA as well, you can clearly see 1 time, 2 time, 3 time, 4 time, and 5 times. So you can clearly see EMA can act as a resistance as well. So you can have your EMA can act as a support and a resistance at the same time. So I know whenever price reaches at this EMA level, it drops. There's some kind of sell-off. There's some kind of a pressure movement downwards. If it breaks above, okay, we're looking for buys. So for example, like this, price broke above this EMA, then it turns support, then we're looking for buys. But as long as price is below this, we're looking for sales. And I just drew my box here. So let me go to 1 hour time frame. So I use a three time frame method to plan my trade. So I look at 4 hour, then I look at 1 hour, then I go to 15 minutes for my entry. So what's happening on 1 hour? So 1 hour, we can clearly see that so if you remember, this is the box I drew at 4 hour. So let me quickly show you. This is the box I drew at 4 hour. So that's the box. So I expect price to let me just add more people, guys. Thank you. Okay, so I expect price to rise at least this level. So I'm expecting, this level to break and price to rise up here. So when a Sunday night market opens, which is tomorrow at 10 p.m. GMT, I'll be looking for buys. I'll be looking for dollar to go up. So I would ignore my EMA right now. I would not be looking at EMA right now. Only look at my EMA at 4 hours, and I do not look at my EMA at 1 hour because it's no point. Because I already have my EMA 4 hours. 4 hour EMA is much more, accurate than a 1 hour EMA because the longer time frame EMAs are much more accurate than a short time frame EMA. So I know I could expect price to go up. I can clearly see that when price drops, it pulls up again, it drops, it pulls up again, it dropped again. So I can expect, price to pull up into this box. Okay. So now I need to go to 15 minutes to plan my entry. So what I'm looking, what kind of, what I'm looking, to how would I enter this market and what am I looking at? So let me just draw my trend line. So I usually look at trend line breakouts. So I have a trend line breakout here right now, and I can quickly draw small support as well. So this is a quite, like a small 15-minute support also right now. So while I'm waiting for when Monday market opens, when Sunday, sorry, market opens, I can see some pullback. Of course, we can, it was consolidating. So we want to see some pullback into this region before we can enter as a buyer. So, again, as you know, we're bullish on dollar. Let's look at some dollar pairs right now. So let's look at USD first. That's one of the easiest one to look at. Let me just remove my drawings. Let's go to 4 hour again. Let's, do everything from the scratch. So, okay, Euro USD. Okay, we can clearly see, let's draw our support resistance quickly. So support line, where we our support. So this is a quite strong support. Yeah, I'm going to get this as my support. Quite a strong support level, and this is a quite strong resistance as well. So every time price switches these two regions, you can clearly see it goes up, quite a few touches and going up, quite a few touches and going down. So, and I will draw this as my support level. So because that's why EMA, so price could come back below to retest this EMA. So let's go to a short time frame. Let's get rid of this 50 EMA. So what's happening? We're looking, so we know dollar is going up. We expect dollar to go up, right? So what we expect from euro? We expect euro to drop. So, okay, let's see if euro will drop. Yes, euro could drop because Ash making a higher low, it failed to make a higher high. So making higher, lower highs and lower lows. So lower high, lower low, lower low, and lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower low, and made another lower low. So failed to make a low, higher high yesterday close. So we can clearly see that, it's a downtrend. If I just draw my trend line as well, we can clearly see it's a downtrend. So what we're expecting? So what we're expecting is to happen for a pullback into this trend line here. We want to see a pullback into this trend line before we can look for sell. So let's look at 15 minutes. So let's see what's up. Yeah, we can clearly see that, if price pullbacks into this region, it will give us a quite a decent risk to reward somewhere around there. If price reaches here, we can keep a fairly small sell, and try to catch about, 15, 20 pips on this trade. So something like this, we're looking at, in USD, a pullback. We always wait for a pullback into a major, levels. Why is that? Because it gives us a bear, entries, gives us a bear overview of what's going to happen with the trade. So yes, that's our scenario for USD. Could pull back in here. So if, why would it pull back here? Because we expect, as I said earlier, we expect DXY to drop. So when DXY will drop, USD will go up. So we expect USD to pull back here, DXY to drop a bit, then DXY will go up from that support level that we have drawn, and then we can see USD dropping below. So that's our scenario for coming week, for coming, for quite a few, probably a day, probably till Monday, we probably see, euro dropping. Then it's going to find some support level here. This is the 4 hour support level that we drew, or EMA support level on a 4 hour, this line here. So you might see some support here, and you might see price coming back into this region again. So what could happen is drop, pull back again. Okay, sorry. Drop, pull back again into this region. Then, maybe then if we can see DXY rising a lot, then we can finally see, price moving all the way back to this 4 hour support level. So this could be a scenario, for next week. What could happen easily is that it could drop here, then it could just break away and, go back to this 4 hours resistance level. So this is two scenario, but we do expect euro to drop before it moves up or down. So we can catch this small, small drop of 15, 20 pips and, catch some small pips at the start of the week. So again, let's look at GBSD. Let me just get rid of all the lines. Again, let's go to 4 hour, because this was quite one of the requests we have from clients, that how do we analyze our chart. So this is how I do it every day. I'll go to a longer time frame, pull up my EMA to really know what's happening in the market. So EMA right now, I start with drawing my support resistance because it's much easier. So if we don't see a definite level, zoom out, it makes it much easier for us to really know what's the level, what levels are. So these are quite strong resistance level. I can clearly see because it's been holding for quite a long time now, since 14th of April. And let's see what can I get my support. So I can't find really. Okay, yeah, that's a good support. Yep, I found my support resistance. So I know my support resistance now. So let's see what's happening. I can do, that's my, okay, just, so I'm not gonna draw this EMA at my support level here. So we can expect price to come and retest this EMA. So I will just draw a small box here at my EMA. Okay, so what's happening right now? We can clearly see GPSD is testing a very strong resistance. It's a 4 hour resistance, which has been, holding on since 14th of April, about nearly 2 months now. So we know this is a quite strong resistance, and we can expect price to drop. So let's go to a short time frame, 1 hour. Let's get rid of the CMA. Yes, we can clearly see the, price is dropping. Let's pull out some indicators for this one, because otherwise fairly, fairly straightforward. Let's look at what's happening. So indicators showing that, my MACD indicator showing that, if I just pull up, MACD indicator showing that we have, a price, this blue line is dropping. When a blue line drops, it basically means that, there's a sell pressure, there's sellers in the market, and it's most likely going to cross below this yellow line and give a signal, bearish signal. So as you can see, whenever blue line crosses below this yellow line, it means a sell signal. So 1 time, 2 time, and 3 time. When it crosses above, of course, it means buy signal, but we can see that it's coming down. So it's turning. It's not showing upward momentum anymore. It's showing a downward momentum. So we can expect price to drop again. We can easily wait for a crossover, or we can see some price action for us to really get into the trade. So let me just draw a trend line. I can clearly see a trend line here. So we can see we have a trend line breakout at 1 hour. So, when the market opens on Friday, Sunday night, sorry, what I would want a price close below this box before I can enter as a sell or a buy. I would want, before I enter as a sell, sorry. So I want a price closing below this box, somewhere around here. So let me get my arrow. I need to see a price close somewhere around here before I can enter as a sell, because that would give me a decent risk to reward ratio. And plus that will give me, good, we can get quite a good, this could be a good trade. This could be one of the highlight trade of next week if this works out. So I want to see a price close below this box to give me 100% confirmation that, this is a good sell opportunity, because we know whenever price closes below this box, like this price here, we know that is a good sell opportunity. We know that, sellers are in the market and they're willing to sell their pair against dollar. So again, we know that DXY is going to climb next week. We are confident that DXY is going to climb next week. That's why we're selling again everything against the dollar. And we can clearly see that price and chart we are looking at is indicating that could be a nice sell pressure. There could be, selling in the market. So we clearly see that GPSD, if it closes below, we might look for, a sell pressure. We can probably get a good, decent risk to reward. We can put ourselves a bit more bigger as well, just about above this trend line. So when the price does go back and retest this trend line, then we can have a sell out. But again, GPSD does look like a sell, earlier next week. EURUSD does look like a sell earlier next week. Let's look at let's look at gold. Okay, quickly look at gold. Let's go to 4 hour. Let me get rid of all the lines. So pull out my EMA. So what's EMA saying? Okay, so firstly, let's get our support resistance. So we only have one resistance right now, which is the highest it's been in the last 11 years. Gold is really high right now. 18. What's the price right now? Let me quickly check. When highest was 1817. That's highest of 11 years. Last time this high was 9 years. Sorry, last time this high was in 2011. So that's our support, and we have a small support here. So that's the only two things. We can have a resistance here, support here, but there's no point. It's quite far fetched. There's no point looking all the way here. So it's better to just keep it relevant to the price. So that's our resistance. That's our support. Let me draw a box here, because that's our EMA support level as well. So we can expect price to drop here as well. Let's go to 1 hour time frame. Let me get rid of my EMA. So what's happening in 1 hour time frame? Okay, so 1 hour time frame, we can clearly see prices making lower highs and lower lows. So lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So we know it's a downtrend. It's a given. When a price makes lower high, lower low, it's a downtrend. When a price makes higher high, higher low, it's an uptrend. So we can clearly see that gold is dropping. Okay, now where did it drop till? Okay, it can drop till here. So we can see price, dropping here, then, moving up, or price dropping all the way back. So that's two scenarios we can have. So we can get another support. I would just draw another resistance. So what could happen is price could rise all the way here and then maybe drop. So we can have a straight drop, or we could have a drop, pull back, and a drop. So these are two scenarios that we're looking at for gold. So let's go to a 15-minute time frame to really see where can we enter the trade. So again, see if you have a scenario something like this, our best to stay away from a pair like this, because you really don't know what's going to happen. It could fall and go up, or it could just drop all the way and then go up. So you really don't want to enter this trade yet, because it's in the middle as well, middle of the range. So you can clearly see this is between these two lines. So we really don't know what's going to happen. It could either go up, it could either go down. So it's best to stay away from gold. It will plan out. It will plan out in about, from Monday, in about 2-3 days when market opens, because we have some decent news coming in. Let me see what news we have for dollar, because gold does affect dollar. Core CPI is something that could move it, which is on Tuesday, I think, or is on Monday. Yeah, it's on Tuesday. So we can see probably gold move on core CPI, or core CPI is one of the news that gold can move. Another news, crude oil inventories won't move gold, of course, that's oil. So again, yeah, okay, we can expect a gold to move on Tuesday. Okay, yeah, let's see quickly. Yeah, Tuesday is I think Tuesday is the only relevant news that could actually affect gold, rather than any other news of the week. So again, core CPI is something that we can see movement in gold. So I will wait for Tuesday before entering gold as a trade, buy or a sell, because if the news is good, we can see gold plummeting all the way back to this support level, and if good news is bad, we can expect gold to rise basically this level, or even the level of this resistance that we have drawn here. So again, I will leave gold alone for some time. I would not recommend anyone trading, but we might send some scalps. We might send quick scalps, buy or sell, because it is in a limbo. So if price reaches here, we might look for selling. If price reaches here, we might look for buys. But again, for long term, if you're looking for some long term buys or long term sells in gold, I would say I would recommend you to wait till Tuesday to see how the news is, because news can move the gold up or down quite furiously. So that's the gold outlook. For now, it's uncertain. For now, we don't know what's happening with the market, so I will leave the gold alone. But we know that DXY is climbing, so gold might drop. That's just the bias we have. We are a bearish bias on gold for quite a few long time now, because we know that economy on US is picking up. Last week jobless claims were really low. It was down a lot down. I mean, it was about 1 million down, which is quite big numbers. And NFP was really good, which came about 2 weeks ago. If you guys paid attention to it, it was really good. It was the highest in last 5-6 years now. So quite decent job numbers US is posting. So it's a good it's a bullish confirmation for dollar to rise. So again, that's our weekly outlook for these pairs. Again, if you have any questions, guys, please ask me now. Again, this video is recorded, so do not worry about it. You will get this video. It will be sent out to you, and you can rewatch it. And if you have any question afterwards, you can ask me or my team. We are more than ready to help you guys. We're more than ready to teach you and learn ourselves as well. Because the only way we can learn is by teaching, and obviously learning never stops. So if you have any question right now, guys, please do ask me. And we have 2 minutes before we end this live Zoom call. So if you have any question about any other pair or gold or any other things, we can help you out. Gold trade from yesterday. Yeah, gold trade yesterday that was hit a sell in a trial group, was sent on a buy because it reached here. So this was a level it reached. So we thought that it's probably gonna hold, because we can clearly see that sometimes price reaches and goes up, but it didn't. It kept dropping and it took our SL. So yeah, that was a given. Thought we can see some pullbacks here, because it did drop a lot. We can clearly see there's massive VIX around this area, so it did go up from here. GPJPY, let's look at GPJPY. JPY pairs is something. Yeah, I should have talked about JPY pairs actually. Thank you for reminding me. Okay, let me just remove all my drawings. So let's see what's happening. 4-hour time frame. Okay, GPJPY. Let's see. Let's quickly draw support resistance. Let me get my EMA. So resistance would be this level. That's my resistance here. That's a decent resistance. And my support would be this level here. So again, GPJPY, and let me draw one more support here, but that's where the price could come up to. That's the EMA support. Okay, so let's go to 1 hour to see what the entries could be. So 1 hour time frame, you can clearly see GPJPY earlier next week might drop. So it might drop all the way back to this level. So if you're looking to short GPJPY, which you should be, I would actually wait for you to short here, because until there's a 1 hour support level as well here as well. So this is a 1 hour support level, which is currently testing. So we can have some, pull back into this region before price could really start dropping back to, downwards. So I would wait for entry on, on GPJPY as of yet. I would see what's happening in the market. Really, to be honest, if I want to end this trade, I would wait for a pullback into this region before I could sell, because I know this is this is about 80% correct sell, because whenever price reaches here, it does drop. Over here, we can see some pullback upwards, and we can see a drop. So it's 50-50, which is not good odds in trading. You need to have at least 70-30 odds in favor of you to enter the trade. So this is a 70-30 odds, or even 80-20 odds, but this is definitely a 50-50 odd, which I won't recommend trading as of yet. So wait for a pullback in this region, then maybe enter a trade as a sell, and that will actually give you a bear risk to reward as well, because if I show here and I just put myself just above this box, I will get, you can clearly see I will get bear risk to reward. I will get 1 to 2 risk to reward, which is more than enough when it comes to that should be a minimum risk to reward in trading. Basically, it should be more than 1-to-1, because if it's always 1-to-1, you will never make money. So it should always be more than 1-to-1 risk to reward. Again, guys, thank you so much for joining, and hopefully you enjoy your weekend. And if you have any more questions, please do ask me or my team, and we'll be more than ready to help you guys. Thank you so much.